Oh, yeah! You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the Eddie and Webby Podcast! Yo, I'ma bust out some theme song action for you. Check it out. The Eddie and Webby Show is the place to be. They're talking about beer and pickleball and technology. So if you didn't know, now you know. 'Cause it's time for the Eddie and Webby Show.
On today's episode, Eddie and Webby make a TikTok video. This is the Eddie and Webby Podcast.
Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. Turnips are only selling for 45 bells? This is stupid. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 67th podcast.
Oh, yeah. Episode number 67. We had an awesome episode last week, and we're back with another awesome episode for you guys today. Oh, yeah.
Last one was 66, and so now we're at 67. Is that how numbers work? I can't remember.
I do believe that is how the number sequence goes. You are correct. Nice work.
That's right. Guys, we have an awesome show for you tonight. We have a guest that I'm really excited to be able to talk about. Well, we're live, Webby. Did you know that? Did you know that we were live?
Oh, right now? Are you serious?
Right now, we're live.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Jeez.
We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And for the one person that cares, now we're back down to one. We are live on Twitch. So the show is meant to be interactive. So if you have any questions or comments for us or for our guest tonight, definitely put them down in the comments. And we just might be able to bring them up on the screen, right, Webby?
Yes, sir.
I'm really excited to be able to talk to this guest tonight. We're going to be talking about kind of like life on the road a little bit, which I'm really excited to get into. But before we get into any of that, Webby, I know I want to know what's going on in Twitter.
Oh, man. The world of Twitter has just been blowing up like crazy lately. Let me go ahead and pull Twitter up here and see what's going on the Twitter sphere here. Here is a message from Brad A. Shunk. He says, fantastic episode 66 of Eddie and Webby with Rusty Howes of Pickleball Channel. Great insights on taking pickleball to the next level. Eddie and Webby hold Pickleball Channel to the collaboration with them. Your number one fan. Hashtag pickleball. Hashtag grow the sport. Thank you for that, Brad. We appreciate it. And yeah, I feel like he might be our number one fan. I think that's like 3 episodes in a row that he sent us a tweet, and we really appreciate that. Very kind words. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome, Brad. Thank you for all the uplifting words.
Yes, very much so. We've got another one here from Dink's Bentley. Ugh, what was I thinking when I decided to listen to the Eddie and Webby Show? They are a couple of no-talent wannabes. Jeez, come on.
I mean, the no
Seriously?
talent, fine, but wannabes? Come on.
Right?
We come original like 311, baby.
That's right. But yeah, I definitely agree with the no talent part. But yeah, the wannabes, come on. That's just over the line, man. But
Where I draw the line.
whatever. Thank you for that anyways. We still appreciate the feedback. So let's do one more Twitter comment here. Here's one from Carol Baskin-Robbins. Eddie and Webby, you are some of the coolest cats in pickleball. When can we expect a new bad Dink reading video? Thank you, Carol. That's a great question. And you can actually expect a new bad Dink reading video in the very, very near future. So just stay tuned for that. That's a new series of videos we've been working on. And man, they've been super fun to work on.
Yeah, they crack me up every time I go back and watch them. So hope you guys enjoy them.
For sure. But
is that it for Twitter?
yeah, that's it for Twitter. I'm done with Twitter for today.
Is that how that works? Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to be able to bring our guest tonight to you. Our guest tonight has been on the show a few times in the past, but always had to share the spotlight with others. He has become well accustomed to life on the road out of his fifth wheel while teaching pickleball and playing pickleball. Please welcome to the show, Joey Farias. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're doing great. Super excited to be able to have you back on. As I mentioned, you were on back in episode number 34 when we were live from the Florida Grand Slam. You made a guest appearance last summer at Perrin Brewing Company for the Beer City Open pre-party. You've joined us a couple times with submissions for pros, asking pros questions. But tonight, it's all about you, man. It's all about the one and only Joey. How do you feel about that?
It's good. I just got finished signing all those paddles. Had to sign another couple hundred. But yeah, nothing too crazy going on these last couple months.
That's great, man. So have you had a chance at all to kind of play recently during any of this quarantine? Or?
See, the last time I played, I took about 9 weeks off. And then I went out and played a little bit with Randy Coleman, Eden Lika, and Andre Diescu. So I had played one day out there, and then it's been another maybe week and a half since I touched a pickleball paddle. So it's been a little weird, and I was definitely rusty that first hour out there. But yeah, other than that, it started coming back slowly.
Yeah, I was wondering because as I've slowly started to play back again, I've been pretty rusty. So I was wondering from somebody at your level if that same level of rust kind of follows you.
Oh, definitely.
Nice, man. Well, I don't know about you, but I could definitely go for a little bit of a beverage right now. Webby, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I am super thirsty, and I couldn't even stand to listen to you interview Joey anymore until I got something to drink.
Guys, what are you going to be drinking tonight, Webby?
So I actually got anxious or a little antsy and already poured mine. But man, this is a drink. It's a newer one from Bell's Brewery that I am absolutely loving, and this is called Incessant. And what it is a double New England style India Pale Ale, and the description says, "You asked incessantly, so here we are, a New England IPA from Bell's. Our twist, we doubled it. Enjoy." And man, oh man, it packs a punch. It's pretty strong, but it's very smooth and very tasty. And this is right up there with one of my favorite New England IPAs now. I'm loving it.
Nice, man. I know you're a big fan of that style, so I'll have to try it out. Joey, what about you, man? What's your beverage of choice?
Today I am drinking just a little bit of some Buffalo Trace, just clean, nothing else. Yeah, I've been in, actually Matt Wright was one that a couple of years ago, we were in Florida and got me to try a little bit of different whiskey. And I've been trying different whiskeys again and came back to Buffalo Trace this past, I bought this probably 2 weeks ago. And yeah, just kind of been checking them all out. So far, my favorite has probably been, I liked the Four Roses small batch, which was nice. And yeah, that's probably my favorite so far.
Okay. And so is that typically your go-to? Is you're a bourbon guy?
Slowly shifting that way. I still do enjoy my hazy IPAs quite a bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Nice, man. Well, I actually have a beer that I've never tried before. This is Rome City IPA from Brew Hub, which is out of Lakeland, I believe, right by the Orlando area. I don't know much about it, but typically when I go to Publix and I see something new on the shelf, I just buy it so that way I can try it. So, I'm excited to try it out, man. I've never been to Brew Hub, but I heard it's a pretty cool place up there by Orlando. Lakeland, isn't that's where the Tiger spring training is, isn't it?
I believe so.
I do believe so, yeah.
You should
Cheers,
know what
guys.
You got a Detroit hat on, right? Cheers. Nice. Well, while we are enjoying our beverages, Joey, I want to bring up a topic here. If you guys want to know about Joey's experience with kind of like how he discovered pickleball and got into it, there's two places you can go to check it out. You can listen to our podcast number 34, which was live from the Florida Grand Slam last year in 2019. Or you can also check out Simone Jargim's YouTube channel, where she interviewed Joey a couple months ago. I think it was back in January, February, where he kind of goes over his history of how he got into pickleball. But today I want to talk about something that is very kind of interesting, and I think a lot of people would be interested in, not only from a pickleball perspective, but just as a way of life, and that is life on the road. So you're technically a nomad? Is that what you call yourself? Like, what do you refer to your situation?
Yeah, I would say so. That's a good term there. Yeah, I'm on the road quite a bit, especially during normal conditions, going from tournament to tournament, doing different camps or lessons along the way, stuff like that. But yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be traveling now. I've been full-time traveling since, I want to say started June of 2018, where we dropped everything and just was on the road full-time.
So did you have to convince your wife, or did she have to convince you, or were you guys kind of both mutually looking forward to it?
It was definitely her dream kind of thing. It was like, that's what she had been always wanting to do, was to be able to travel and see the US, stuff like that. She enjoys traveling quite a bit. So it was Gearbox that actually kind of put this in my ear about what I thought about traveling, like travel-wise and things like that. Because one of their main ways of marketing, especially early on when their company was first starting with racquetball, was they bought you can see the Gearbox bus. I want to say that might be their third one. Their first one they bought, and they just went out on the road, the owner with a couple pros, and started doing some small little things and playing in different racquetball gyms, stuff like that, all around the country, and slowly started getting bigger and bigger. And now they're one of the top 2 racquetball companies in the world with that. And they figured that'd be a good way to try to spread in pickleball, was to have myself. Rafa still travels quite a bit on the bus around as well, and get more exposure that way.
Okay. So, but you're in a fifth wheel with a diesel tow truck or tow vehicle,
correct,
right?
Yes.
What kind of tow vehicle do you have?
I have a F-250.
Okay.
So Ford F-250. Yeah, it's been nice. If something goes wrong with the camper, we can leave it and then take the truck and find something, and then vice versa. If something goes wrong with the truck, I have the camper back here to kind of hang out and get things done. So that they have both happened while we've been on the road. So
really,
yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the whole debate between motorhome versus fifth wheel or travel trailer, right? If you're motorhome and it breaks down, your house is wherever it broke down, right?
Yep, you're stuck.
Yeah, where with the fifth wheel, at least you have 2 separate. So if you can get the fifth wheel towed to a campground, you can, if the car breaks down or something, there's always ways around it, which is nice. But it sounds like you guys went the fifth wheel route. What you said that you've actually had issues with both your truck and the fifth wheel at separate times?
Yep. So it's mainly the fifth wheel happened earlier on. I was on my way to a tournament I can't remember. We were driving in towards Vegas. I was going to fly out of Vegas to go to, I want to say, the Carolinas. I want to say it was North Carolina. And we were maybe 2 hours out of Vegas. I probably had about 6 hours, 7 hours till my flight later that evening. And yeah, 2 hours out, we had not even just a blowout. So the whole wheel came off. So the axle grinded out. I couldn't tell. And we ended up having to get a whole new axle replaced. Luckily, I think we were in Deming. No, I don't remember what city exact. Kingsland or something like that, right outside of Vegas. Tony was with me, so she ended up staying there with the camper. We took the truck. She dropped me off to Vegas, drove the 2 hours. It was just the truck to Vegas to get me to my flight on time. Then she came back, got the axle fixed, and then I was in North Carolina for 3 or 4 days without her, and then flew back and played the next following tournament, which was the Vegas Open. So we had a crazy experience there, where luckily we had a vehicle to get me to the airport. Otherwise, there was no way I was getting there. And then we've had the truck kind of have a couple issues at a tournament, and luckily we had time, and we have a place to stay there with our fifth wheel. So we just rented a couple more days at the park and got the truck fixed, and then we're on our way.
So when you're finding places to stay with the fifth wheel, do you typically go towards campgrounds, towards people's houses, towards the parking lot of the venue that you're staying at? Like, what's your plan or your kind of go-to for that?
I would say that first option would probably be closer towards the venue. That's usually our first option. We try to stay there at the venue, if anything. If we can't, then we tend to stay at some parks around. We have had a couple of pickleballers offer their houses, which has been awesome. That obviously either they've had a fifth wheel in prior, or they have one and have extra room anyways, or a RV, whatever. And so we've had some cool experiences like that as well, where we've been able to stay in different areas throughout the country and people's houses, even just like on random trips where we're only there for a day in between, where I have to stop on my way from Texas to Florida or stuff like that.
What's the coolest place that you didn't think you would like, but you ended up actually really liking?
I did go just recently visit Opelika, Alabama. I saw that, and I went to go teach right before the pandemic kind of really started kicking off. I was out there teaching at their facility, which is amazing. If you guys haven't gone or seen it, it's awesome. I want to say it's like 12 or 16 kind of covered courts and this big, almost like that US Open tarp thing that's out there. And that city, I ended up staying in that Auburn Opelika place for a month because of that was right when the pandemics kind of started, was when I was finishing up there. So we decided, that's kind of away from everybody we know. It won't, we'll just be on our own. And it was beautiful out there. They had some great state parks, played a little golf, and just kind of hung out on our own out there.
So talk about the pandemic and what that was like living on the road versus, let's say, you were at a house or, living at more of a permanent place. Did it change your lifestyle up significantly, or?
Just the traveling wise, like I said, we stayed for a whole month out there in Alabama, waiting for it to kind of start slowing down. And then we hit the road again just for a little bit. We went up towards Michigan, where we are right now, with my wife's family. She is from here in Detroit, and we've been here for a month, kind of just hanging out, doing some new projects on the camper and getting everything nice and ready to go for when we can start traveling a little bit more.
How much do you typically plan your travel or your trips? Do you kind of have, do you prefer having more like a loose structure and kind of just, okay, we know we need to be in this part of the country these dates and kind of just roll with it? Or do you find like having a regimented plan is better?
I am more that person that likes the kind of free, looser schedule, stuff like that. So whenever we get a chance to, we do that. My wife, Tony, she is the complete opposite. She is a big planner, loves to have things set and ready. To a point, she does still like the freeness of being able to go check out this random, like, biggest mailbox in the U.S. because we're
right
within 2 hours of being there, random spots like that. But yeah, she's the one that kind of plans a lot of our routes out to see funny and cool things like that. So it's been awesome. Yeah. So we definitely do more of the planning is what I would think.
Okay. Have you hit all 48 of the continental states? I don't even know what you call it, the lower 48.
Let's see. We have not been to Alaska, Montana. What else? and Maine, and a couple of those, and maybe Connecticut, Maryland, a couple of those northern eastern states.
Okay. That's what. Where would you say you've spent like most of your time at throughout the last couple of years?
So when we first started traveling full time, we spent a lot of time in California. We spent quite a bit. We did that whole Pacific Coast driveway all the way up towards Washington. And then lately it's been a lot of, I would say, Florida. Obviously, there's a bunch of pickleball going out in Florida. Florida and actually the Midwest. Spent a lot of time in the Midwest.
All right. So when you go to a lot of these places, how do you find people to play pickleball with that are at your level?
That's kind of hard sometimes, unless I obviously know some of the pros and stuff like that from tournaments, and I know that they live in these certain areas. But for the most part, I'm not super picky with who I practice or play with. So I just either find their pickleball page online on Facebook, this city's pickleball page, and I will message somebody, whoever, that, hey, when do you guys play? What time? This, and I just show up and play. And then usually what happens is I play that first day kind of like an open style play. I mix around with everybody there, and then one of them or people think that I'm not enjoying myself, so then they say like, on Tuesday we can get you this better group of our players to come play with you. On this day we can, so they'll set up a little bit more of a private practice or something like that with some of their better players.
I was gonna say that's got to be tough, man, especially in certain areas of the country. I mean, I know there's some hotbeds where there's obviously top level play, but I'm sure there's still parts of the country where it's fairly new, and finding people that are, at your level is probably pretty challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just fun to see people out there and enjoying the sport and getting better.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing or things that have ever happened with you being on the road?
Man, I would say that whole tire thing was one of them. In Vegas, my wife gave our RV a haircut. She took out the AC unit going under a overpass that was marked on one side as tall enough. I want to say our RV is like 12 and a half feet high. Yeah. So on one side it was 13 feet, but coming in around it just maybe like 20 feet to the left, it was slanted just a little bit further down there, and it was not quite there. So yeah, she took off the whole air conditioning unit. So that was another one. Yeah, that's probably the craziest one. There was having to hear that. And I wasn't there. I was at a different place. So yeah, I just get a call of her hysterically crying, saying I just took out the air conditioner and all that stuff, and how is she gonna, like, what does she need to do next, this and that. But yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It's crazy to think that, when you have a fifth wheel, because I mean they sit up really high above your bed, you have to be pretty careful. Have you run into that situation where you've ever had to either turn around or go to a different part of the road under bridges?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's always, like, even just like trying to get to tournament venues where if I miss a wrong exit or I have to take some weird streets to get down, there's trees, power lines, all that stuff. And then there's sometimes we've been on streets where we couldn't, basically get out of this thing without having to try to back it up between different cars and all that stuff. So one of us has to get out and kind of guide the other one. And yeah, we've had some long days on this small road trying to get out, going backwards, and tight fits and all that good stuff.
Oh man, that's got to be stressful.
It's not that bad. No. Once it happens, it's gonna happen usually, and it happens once. Then the next time it's like, okay, we're expecting it, stuff like that. You kind of expect things like that pretty early on.
What about internet access? Have you guys found any issues with being able to stay connected throughout a lot of your travel?
No, we've been pretty good. So our phone company we bought extra modem and some extra hotspot capability, stuff like that to have internet basically wherever we go. Most of the RV parks, if we stay at one, have it already. And then when we're kind of what they call boondocking, where we're just staying at a random, either a rest area or in a state park somewhere. Yeah, our phones have been pretty good with that. We made sure that we got our phone services with two different ones. I think I have Sprint. She has AT&T. That way, in different locations, our Wi-Fi works differently, just in case mine doesn't work here, hers usually does, and vice versa.
And then you could just use the others as a hotspot if you need to.
Yep,
that's smart. That's really smart. What's the longest you've ever boondocked for, completely off the grid?
Probably about 12 days.
Wow.
About 12 to 14 days.
Okay, so that was running off. Do you guys have solar?
So we have a small little solar panel, but we mainly run off when we're boondocking a generator.
Okay.
So we have these bunch of gas tanks that have it set. The little solar panel will kind of keep the main things going, like the fridge and the lights, stuff like that, along with just the battery. The AC sometimes will work off that. Usually it's not very good, but if it gets too hot, then that's when we bring out the generator, put that on. That runs everything in the RV pretty easily.
Okay. What about like water? Like, do you guys have a pretty big tank to be able to give you fresh water for a while?
Yeah. So that's kind of what we realized, where our tanks for showers and doing dishes, stuff like that, will last us about that 10 to 12 day mark. And that's when we see that it's starting to run out. Our drinking water, we have those 3 to 5 gallon tanks, and then we have a small little spigot thing that you like attach to it that will give us our drinking water. And yeah.
That's cool, man. So, I mean, it sounds like for 10 or 12 days, that's a long time. You can go to some pretty remote areas and kind of just immerse yourself in nature and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been nice. Done that a couple times out in one of our favorite areas to do that is up in northern Arizona in Flagstaff. Kind of just, there's I want to say it's state land that's up there, and it's just this like private, not even private, public, I don't know, acres of beautiful forest, and you just go in there and find a place and park and just hang out. And it's been nice.
You guys travel with 2 dogs, right?
Correct. Yeah.
How is that? Does that ever cause any issues or cause any stress?
No, they've been great. They love traveling. First off, they're easy in the vehicle. They basically put their heads out the window for about the first hour, and after that they just pass out. They're out. Then when they wake up, one of our dogs likes to lower the window on her own. So she'll go and lean and lower the window, and then when she does that a couple times, and when I keep putting it up, that means that she needs to go out. So then that tells me that she's up now, and she wants to go. She has to go pee. So we stop somewhere, let them run around for a little bit, and then hit the road again.
Oh, that's cool. So that you go to a lot of these tournaments, and then obviously because you have the fifth wheel, you're able to run the air conditioning. The dogs can chill in there for hours on end, right?
That's right. Yeah, they've during tournaments they spend some long hours on their own. Those poor dogs. They're there for anywhere from like 10 hours, 10 hours that they can spend on their own out there. Luckily, most of these tournaments, the venues have been pretty nice about letting me at least park there. So even if I have an RV park somewhere, I usually try to take the trailer there, set it up that way the dogs can be right there, so we can check on them throughout the tournament. I have a place that has AC that I can go and hang out at between matches, eat, all that good stuff, and then at the end of the day, we'll drive back to wherever we're staying.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. Having a place to be able to go, especially in some of these hotter climate venues, that's got to be great to be able to know that you can go between matches, get some air conditioning, make a sandwich, right?
Yeah, that saved me at the Texas Open last year. It was brutal out there, so hot, and yeah, luckily had that parked pretty close to the venue. I was able to walk out there and just I took a cold shower between some matches. Got nice and relaxed and back on the courts instead of having to just try to find shade somewhere out in the venue.
Right. Yeah, to get out of the 100 degrees and go to 90 degrees in the shade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about when you guys are traveling a lot, do you prefer to cook? Do you guys like to eat out? Like what's that look like?
I cook a lot. So yeah, I like to cook, so I enjoy. So yeah, we tend to cook quite a bit more. In the last maybe year or so, even Tony's got big into cooking now, so she's been cooking even more. So yeah, we've been on a more of a cooking kick. It's funny now that we haven't been traveling, we have not been cooking that much.
Really?
We've been with family and stuff like that, and yeah, either we've had them cooking or they've been wanting to pick up food from here, or order food from there, and yeah, so it's been kind of the opposite. When we're not traveling, we tend to not cook as much than when we are traveling.
Okay. Has your air conditioning ever gone out when you were like in a really hot area, anything like that?
Yes, it went out in, let's see, I want to say it was TOC. It wasn't too hot, but it was still like higher 80s, low 90s. And something was going wrong with it. And it was funny because obviously couldn't figure it out. I was in between like the tournament days and then coming home and then trying to take a look at it for a little bit to see, not really immersing myself into figuring out what the heck was going on. And then I asked Rafa Yo's the owner of Gearbox, to come take a look at it. And yeah, within like a couple minutes, he was like, oh, it's this, and that, and was able to wire whatever he needed to do and fix it. His mind works ridiculous with all these engineering mechanics, the electrical engineering, the mechanics of everything. It just, half the time when he's talking to me about that kind of stuff, I have no clue what he's saying. And he just keeps, I just smile, nod, and it's crazy.
That's good.
So yeah, it's been
Great.
Oh yeah, anytime we have a problem, it's pretty nice. I can call him, and within a couple minutes, he can kind of at least figure out where the problem spot is, and then from there, I can take a look and see. And he's usually right. It's crazy.
How do you guys handle mail?
Mail. We have a PO box in Tucson. And so actually Sean Rickard, one of my good buddies, kind of every once in a while will go and check it out for me and then send it to me wherever I am. And especially if I know if it's something important or anything like that. But that's usually how we get our mail. If we're doing packages, stuff like that, I can get all my Amazon or Gearbox packages or Jigsaw packages sent to the tournament or wherever I'm staying, stuff like that. So it's been nice.
Really cool. So I know that obviously life on the road, there's a lot of appealing things about it, right? I mean, freedom, adventure, just kind of being able to, see different parts of the world, maybe avoiding bad seasonal weather, right? In the wintertime, being able to escape it. But it can't all be great. There's got to be parts of it that are not good, right? That are not what people are posting on Instagram. Do you have any words of wisdom when it comes to that?
Absolutely. I mean, basically, every trip or every couple trips, something is going to go wrong in the camper. Or it could be something really small where it's fuses, going out. It's or something really big where like the AC, this light, the wire got cut because when we were driving, it just like this little plastic thing that was holding it came down, got snagged by one of the I think that happened to us on the slide side. It was held by a little old plastic thing that fell apart. The axle of the fifth wheel caught it and then ripped all the cords from in the fifth wheel on this side of the electric box or whatever. I mean, just some crazy things like that where we finally get all set up and then none of the electricity works because we didn't realize that all the wires are mangled underneath the RV. Yeah. So yeah, there's always some little issues, usually something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was awesome. Being on the road the last couple of years, it's been a lot of fun seeing just different parts of the U.S. that I probably would have never experienced otherwise.
Okay. Now, looking back on it too, if you had to do it over again, what would you do differently?
I don't know. Probably maybe read a little bit more on it, because as problems started occurring, some of the little RV forums that I could have read before we ever started had everything told you you should buy a box of fuses, a box of this tool, that tool, and basically for sure all the little small things that are going to happen while you're on the road, that'll take care of it, rather than you having to unhitch, go to the town, buy those things, come back, fix it, drive again, and then something else small, go again to another store. I would have had everything basically set up while we were traveling.
Okay. When you get to your destination, how long does it take for you to be able to get everything set up to where you can just kind of start living?
We got it down pretty good now. Maybe we're down to probably about 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe. Probably
when you first started, how long?
That took us probably... it took me about an hour just to back this thing in somewhere. and then from there, trying to figure out how to make sure that we were even and we weren't slanted, where I would lay down the bed and roll off. So it was probably about an hour and a half that it would take us when we were first, that first month, 2 months. It was terrible. Basically, when we first got the RV, Raphael goes and takes me out. He's we're in the back of the the gearbox headquarters, and there's this huge lot, and we're back there driving. He's teaching me how to back it in a little bit. He's telling me, here's this to level this out. Here's that to make sure that the tire, wheel chocks and some small things. And he goes, the rest of it you'll figure out as you go. Here's the keys. And then that was it, threw me out there, because that's how he learned, was just kind of, he said, it doesn't matter if I told you this and that, it's still going to happen. You're going to end up calling me a lot at the beginning, and then you'll figure it out. So I've definitely driven off with forgetting that I had the back jack still on the ground. So I just see sparks or hear this grinding thing. Yeah, we've done it all.
And I'm sure you've met a lot of characters on the road, a lot of interesting people, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a wide range of people out at some RV parks, where I've had groups of people kind of just hanging out, drinking, watching me trying to back in when I was first starting, and just laughing while I'm trying to back into an RV spot. And then I've had some where they were a lot nicer. Within the first 2 tries, one of the guys came out and was like, here, I can do it for you. And then just came in and did it super quick, because it was this tight corner spot. And then he was kind of showing me some tricks on how to figure out how easy it is to, where you mark your camper on where you need to be in order for it to back into this area. And yeah, within a couple things, the first time our AC went out, we had no clue what was going on. I didn't know where a lot of the stuff, I want to say it was even our first trip, the AC worked for the first couple hours, or that first night. The second night we went back and the AC just wasn't working. We had no clue. There was a guy at the park throwing out his garbage. Went to go ask him if he knew anything about why my AC comes in. like looks around. He goes, "Oh, there's this box." Clicks it. This little light's on, and yeah, it's just this. He puts in a new fuse, and our AC starts working. We were there for like 2 hours trying to figure this out. Hot as heck. Yeah. So yeah, just little things like that.
Have you now become that guy that's throwing out his garbage and people are asking you for help on stuff?
I've done it, a couple of times. Yeah. It's been kind of nice. I've been able to help out a little bit. One of my cousins just recently got an RV, so she's been calling me about everything that she needs to do whenever she's hitting the road and all that stuff. But yeah, I've learned a lot more about the diesel truck. I've been able to do a lot of things with the truck now. A little bit of electrician work. Been more of a handyman for sure after this experience.
Yeah. How do you feel like being on the road has affected your I don't want to say your pickleball game. Has it affected your life in pickleball overall?
It's been I've been able to play more tournaments, teach more people, teach different people because I'm on different locations all the time. And I can have my family with me, so traveling's like quite a bit easier. I don't have to, leave them back home for every couple of weeks to go to these new tournaments, especially with all these new tournaments popping up all the time. That our schedules are getting busier and busier.
Okay. Well, and it sounds like there might actually be a little bit of a change happening in your life here in the very near future. Is that right?
Yeah, that is true. Can't quite say what yet, but be moving to Florida, and we're gonna kind of settle down just a little bit. I'll still be traveling some, but yeah, that's gonna be the plan.
That's cool, man. Well, as the ambassador to Florida, I welcome you down here. I'm excited that you'll be down here a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool, man. So looking back on the last couple of years, would you have changed having a fifth wheel and having, either a Class A motorhome or maybe something smaller, or do you feel like that was the right balance for your situation?
Yeah, it seems like this has been probably the best choice. When we were first looking into this, we were looking at the Class C's, some of the bigger Class A, stuff like that, just where we're driving all together. And then kind of Raphael made that point to me where, if we get you a fifth wheel or a toy hauler and stuff like that, you have plenty of space still, but you'll have the ability to kind of unattach and have a truck that you can easily get from this place to that place. When you're at a tournament, it's easier for me to go to the restaurants, go to the grocery store, go to this, rather than trying to, park a huge bus or a smaller RV in these random spots.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, right? You said you have an F-250. It's probably not hard to get around and navigate cities and things like that in a Ford than it would be in even a small Class C. I'm sure it would be much more challenging.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So yeah, that's been kind of nice having that. And talked a little bit earlier where the RV had a little bit of trouble. We like a flat tire, stuff like that, and we're on a time crunch. Either getting me to the airport or getting to the tournament, or where we can just leave the RV at that place or in that city, get it fixed while we go to the tournament, get a hotel with the truck. And stay the weekend there, and then go back, pick up the RV on our way to a new place.
That's cool, man. And that's probably a little bit of a refreshing change, right? To be able to get into a hotel for a weekend, right?
Yes. So yeah, sometimes it's nice. And then we realize like all the little things that we've left because we don't have our house with us where we have everything we really need. So yeah, it probably took about 8 months to a year to really get comfortable in this place, where now when we park and we're there for a couple, it feels like home. It's not like we're on the road. It's not like we're in a hotel or something like that kind of feeling. We have really everything we need that we would do if we had a house or an apartment back home in Tucson, or if we were with our fifth wheel in Florida somewhere.
Okay. That's good stuff, man. So we've asked you a lot of questions, which is awesome. But we actually have quite a few questions for the segment that we like to call Pros Asking Pros Questions, right, Webby?
Oh, man. We got a bunch of great questions for Joey today. And this first question comes to us from a very good friend of ours, and that is Catherine Taranto.
Hi, Eddie and Webby. Hi, Joey. I have a question for you. What event do you prefer the most? Men's singles, men's doubles, or mixed doubles?
Ooh, all right. Obviously, when I'm lucky enough to play with her, mixed doubles. No, I've been lucky enough to play with Catherine quite a bit. We kind of started together, so mixed doubles is always a lot of fun. I would say my favorite is men's doubles. Singles, I play it every once in a while. I'm going to slowly maybe not play as much as I have been. It is brutal. Previous year's U.S. Open, it was so hot, humid, it was torture. I ended up playing very well, but yeah, it was not fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm growing to really like singles a lot, but on a really hot day, man, I hate it. It can definitely be brutal on a hot day, that's for sure. This next question comes from somebody that I hear is a pretty decent pickleball player that might make a name for himself one of these days. Here's a question from somebody that goes by the name of Ben Johns.
Hey, Joey. Hey, Eddie Webby. So I have a question for you, Joey. I'd like to know what sports other than tennis that you played as a kid and how far you went with them.
And also, can you sign my paddle?
All right, so the first question, or the second question, I've already signed that paddle twice. And so for Ben, let's see, I played middle school football. I've only played about a year of it, and then my mom hated every second of watching me play it. Obviously, I was in Texas. I kind of had to play at least a year of football.
Isn't that a law?
I enjoyed it.
Law?
I think so, yeah. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. I played basketball and baseball. And I played everything. I played basketball and baseball until I was in high school. Once I was in high school, I was doing already pretty good in tennis. I had a national ranking, all that good stuff, and decided to really, really just focus on that one sport, and that's what I played. I played tennis ever since.
Nice.
You actually had some success in tennis, though. You beat a couple pretty well-known players, or held your own against them, right?
Yeah, I've had some decent results. Don't usually talk about it too much. So luckily I've fortunate enough to play some of these well-known pros in junior tournaments throughout the country when I was playing. I played a lot of ITF. I played some ITF, some international tournaments, stuff like that. So I've had some good wins.
It's okay to brag for a second if you.
Right?
Yeah, we encourage it.
Toot your own horn. Do it.
All right. Younger, I got to play Del Potro at the Orange Bowl, won that match, and then I had a match point against Djokovic and lost, which I shouldn't have. I was actually ranked higher than he was. He was not as good because I want to say that was still – he was young, and even whenever he was first becoming one of the top pros, he was figuring out that he was allergic to gluten or had something with gluten, and his parents owned a pizza shop, so that didn't help. And,
man.
Yeah, so he got to like top 10 in the world with that. Finally got figured out that he had that sensitivity, and then he went on that ridiculous run, a couple of years ago where he lost maybe 2 or 3 matches. And then, now he's back this last 2 years, just killing it. So yeah, played Donald Young quite a bit, and obviously he's from the States. And Sam Query, played some doubles with him, played singles against him. John Isner in college, stuff like that. So I've been fortunate.
Very nice. So that question came from Ben Johnson. Ben is actually tuning in now, and he has a follow-up question for you. And he says, what's your favorite pickleball memory?
Ooh, favorite pickleball memory. Let's see. Actually, I would say one of them was playing with Ben at our, I guess it was our second U.S. Open, our first U.S. Open. It was his first U.S. Open and mine. Me and Catherine played him and Abby David in mixed age. It was funny because it was mixed age, and I want to say it was us two. So it was me and Catherine, Ben, Abby David. It was Matt and Lucy's first tournament ever. That was their first tournament, was that U.S. Open. And then Kyle played with, I want to say, Jen Lucor in that small little 19-plus age thing. So we played him there. After that, was able to ask him if he wanted to play the following year in men's doubles, because I figured out that he was pretty damn good already, and he was just starting and he was young. And we did really well. Got to beat Marson and Morgan for the bronze there, and that was a team. Those two guys were a team that I really kind of looked up to when I was first starting pickleball. I saw a lot of videos of Marson and Morgan playing, and beating everybody out there and stuff like that, having great results. So just to play them on that court, on that stadium court with all those people, and it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that moment.
Awesome. So this next question comes from a very talented and high-level pickleball trainer, and she's a good friend of Joey's. Here's a question from Karen Geisen.
Hi, Joey. Karen Geisen here, beautiful Auburn, California. I've got a question for you about communication. Oh my God, look who's here, the king of communication.
Hi, Joey. Doug Koch, and hope you're doing well. And we'll go back to Karen for a communication question.
Hi, Joey, again. My question is, if you feel communication is important, and why on the court, because most sports it's very important, aside from golf, tennis, individual sports. I feel team sport is very important to communicate with your partner. Do you agree, and why, or if not, why? Thanks, Joey. Hope you're doing well. Say hi to your lovely wife. Have a good summer. Bye.
All right. Yeah. Of course, communication is huge in pickleball. It is. That's why you see a lot, especially on the pro side, these last maybe 2 years, you're seeing more and more pairs stick together throughout the year than we have in years past, where it used to kind of everyone mix up every tournament. You'd see, this person playing with the new person pretty frequently. Not anymore. Some of the smaller ones you might see that, but all the majors, these bigger PPAs and APPs, stuff like that, you're going to see a lot of more of the same teams, whether it's mixed, men's, women's doubles. Because of that communication, you start figuring out, how the other players play, how they like to play, how we mix together. What are my strengths and their strengths? Do we, when I do this, does he do that? Things like that. And then just the talking wise, it gets more and more comfortable talking to each other the more you get to play with each other, which is always nice.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel like whenever I team up with somebody and we communicate while we play, we absolutely do way better than if I play with somebody where we don't say anything throughout the match. I mean, that's for sure. That's crucial in my opinion anyways. What do I know? But this next question comes from another person that some would say is pretty good at pickleball, and that is the one and only Kyle Yates.
Joey, what's up, man? So I hear you're moving to Florida soon. Does that mean you're finally going to show me your sick tricks on a surfboard? I hope so. Stay safe. See you soon.
Oh man, yeah. Hopefully, he'll have to come to my side on my coast over there. That might be a little bit better than the Gulf Coast to catch some waves. But yeah, I'll be coming to Florida soon, like I said earlier, and I used to surf quite a bit when I was younger. I guess that was another sport. I didn't compete or anything, so it didn't really seem like a sport to me. It was more of a hobby, and I grew up in Corpus Christi, Texas, so right on the beach. And yeah, I surfed all through even some of college. When I would come home, I surfed quite a bit. And yeah, it's been years since I've been back on a board for more than an hour. And yeah, I'm excited to finally be at a place where I can hopefully pick up that hobby again.
Webby, I think I sent a new video for our channel coming on here, and that's Joey and Kyle teach Eddie how to surf. What do you think?
Yeah, that's got to happen. That has got to happen. You're never going to see a video of anybody teaching Webby how to surf because the movie Jaws ruined that chance of ever happening for me. It was a big deal the first time I ever stepped foot in a lake of any kind, a freshwater lake. So there's me surfing is probably never going to happen, but I absolutely think that should happen. You guys teaching Eddie how to surf, that has got to happen.
I've done the thing at Kalahari, the little, I don't even know what they call them. Right?
Yeah.
The little fake thing where it has little jets and you can surf on it. So I feel like I'm already a pro as it is, so it'll be no problem.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there you go.
Thing.
Yeah, it is the same thing.
Nice. All right, this next question comes from one of our all-time favorites in the world of pickleball. Here's a question from none other than Simone Jardim.
Hey, Joey. How are you doing? Can't wait for you to move down here. But anyhow, what are you looking most forward to? The humidity of Florida or spending some time with your best buds? All right, see you soon.
Well, obviously spending times with my best buds, it's going to be great for my pickleball. There's so many people just throughout that area, whether it's the waters, we have Simone, Kyle, there's just Martina's down in Miami. There's just so many players out there. I want to say like Eden, obviously, and Andre are going to be pretty close to me. Regina Franco, I've seen her out there quite a bit now. I'm excited about that, getting to play with a bunch of those great players. The humidity, I love humidity. I grew up in it. Corpus Christi, Texas is pretty darn humid itself. That's something I'm no stranger to, and I usually enjoy that a little bit more than the dry heat. So, yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Simone. Great question. The next question comes from a fellow Michigander and great pickleball player and pickleball instructor. This one is from DJ Howard.
Hey, guys. I'm big on encouragement. My question for Joey is, who has encouraged you most on your journey to becoming a top player?
Whew, man. Who has encouraged me most? I would say my wife, Tony, has done quite a bit for it. She's, been the one to kind of push me to travel a little bit more, even some of the times I couldn't travel with her. She's been, she's the one that kind of puts order into all this, sets up a lot of the stuff for me. Without her, I don't know if I would have been as successful as quickly. She's been great. Obviously, when I first started, it was a guy named Dan O'Toole kind of started me out there, and DJ Howard was right there with me. We both worked together. Our first U.S. Open, we played. I think it was the first time that they had the pro division, where if you won your first match, you went to the main draw of pro. If you lost your first match, you went to the main draw of 5-0. And our first big match ever. We lost to Matt Staub and Robert Elliott. That was our first round to get in. Lost to them, and then we went into the 5-0 bracket and won it. And it was great because I want to say we won some money, which was nice for that our first big tournament. And it was more than what, like 4th or 5th for the pros got, because they got nothing. I want to say it was Brian Ashworth that I was talking to that, he spent all this time working his ass off to get 4th or 3rd. I came at 4th, I think, and he got either the same or no money compared to the first place for the one of the guys that I had lost already. I'd lost and went to the back draw, but that was fun, and those guys have always kind of help me along, and anytime I need encouragement, and those are two that I can definitely go to.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great answer, and I've got to tell you, you've earned some. I think you earned some great brownie points with that answer. And if you ever find yourself in the doghouse, I think you should play your answer to this question to your wife, and you're going to get out of any problems that you ever have with your marriage.
Yeah, we'll edit you a little snippet, and then you can just email it to her.
There we go. Yeah, perfect.
We'll get you that clip, and you can have it saved on your phone or whatever. You can pull it up whenever you need to. You're set for life, man. That was a great answer. Nice. All right, so this next one is from one of our pickleball BFFs. Here's a question from the one and only Irina Terashenko.
What up, Eddie and Webby? What up, Joey? Irina Terashenko is here, your Sick Tricks teammate. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, we rode in a car together with Tony and Sean Rickard from Tucson to Palm Springs to compete in Pickleball Nationals. And what we did the entire time for about 6 hours, there and back, is we played this game where you have to play the song and try to name it as fast as possible. So what I vividly remember is losing every single round, well, maybe with the exception of Eastern European techno category. I'm pretty sure I aced that one, because you were guessing all the songs within 5 seconds or less from the beginning. So my question to you is, how did you get so good at knowing so many different songs across different genres and guessing them? And also, maybe you can name a couple of jams that get you really pumped up before a pickleball match. Thank you. Bye.
Nice. Great question.
Yeah. So on the road, as much as we are, obviously, we come up with a bunch of ways to try to pass the time, whether it's listening to different podcasts, listening to a bunch of different music, audiobooks. We do audiobooks a lot. And then that game where we basically pick a random genre of music or a mix of music, click play, and first person to guess it gets the point. And my wife, Tony, is freakishly good at it. So by getting beat down month after month in this game, I slowly started learning and remembering and doing that with music. So yeah, for her genres and stuff like that, which is a vast majority of them, she usually beats me pretty good. But yeah, I knew a lot of music and stuff because of growing up. My dad listened to a bunch of different genres of music, everywhere from old classic rock to Motown to a lot of different Spanish music. And then when I was, I want to say maybe early 20s, I was a DJ. Me and my friends were DJs. I had two other friends of mine. We ended up going in together, bought a DJ set, and did everywhere from like weddings. One of my buddies was a high school math teacher. So we got a contract with that school district, the small school district in Port Aransas, Texas, and did, their middle school dances, their high school prom. We did some different clubs. We did a couple different city events. I remember doing one called Bark in the Park, which was like a Halloween dog show. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I got to learn a lot of music that way too.
Nice.
Let's see. Music that gets me pumped up before pickleball. There's a lot. There's a certain playlist that I listen to that Sean and Irina's helped me on some. So And let me see. Actually, I have some of these songs on this playlist, and I got to remember some of them. Let's see. Where is it?
So Irina and Sean helped you put this together?
Yeah. So basically, throughout our tournaments, morning of around 7:30 a.m., one of us usually sends a mass text to a group of us with the song of the day or something like that. And they range from, we've had songs for Dekel with some just like Israeli techno that just randomly pop up, all the way to we listen to a lot of Alanis Morissette before we play. Just so many. So probably for me personally, get pumped up, 50 Cent, Many Men was one of them. Anything Eminem, obviously, be good to start your day with if you're looking at that. I listen to different Spanish music. So anywhere, I forgot the names. There's like Raycon and Nicky Jam and J Balvin, some of those kind of Spanish artists, stuff like that. So yeah, those are some of the artists and music that I kind of listen to before I start the day.
Very nice. Yeah, I've got to say, I can I understand what you're coming from. Like I will listen to either a 50 Cent station or an Eminem station the morning of a tournament, and I totally get it. I don't know if it's like the Michigan background thing or what, but yeah, like when I listen to an Eminem station before a pickleball tournament, I am ready to go. Little mixture of anger and some nice beats.
That's right.
That's all you need.
Gets you in the zone. That's all you need.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm more the Alanis Morissette side of things. It's more my.
Isn't it ironic that you said that? Don't you think?
That's right.
A little too ironic.
Nice. All right, so Irina mentioned Sean Rickard in her video, and we actually just so happen to have a question here from the man himself, Mr. Sean Rickard.
Joey Farias. What's up, buddy? It's your boy Sean Rickard from Tucson. I got 3 questions for you. Number 1, who is your favorite pop diva, and why do you love her so much? Number 2, do you have any poker tells, like any giveaways when you're trying to be deceitful? And number 3, tell us about your biggest comeback in a pickleball tournament. All right, later, man.
Nice, great question, Sean. Yeah. It's a very, very loaded question here, so let me break it down for you just so you don't forget what he asked. So number 1, who is your favorite pop diva, and why do you love her so much?
Ooh, pop diva. Celine Dion is my favorite. I don't know what it is. It is just, every song she sings is just gorgeous, beautiful. Yeah, Celine Dion is my favorite. What was the question 2?
Question 2 was, do you have any poker tells, something that gives away when you're trying to be deceitful?
Oh man, so we were playing this game where we were out at a pickleball tournament. I want to say it was in California. So Curtis Campbell brought this game out, and it was something about being spies and trying to figure out as a group who the spies are. So obviously I'm the spy this time, and we had to like cover our eyes. If you're a spy, you look at your card or something, I can't remember, but basically when everyone opened their eyes, you all look around and try to figure out and ask questions, stuff like that. Well, once they opened their eyes, my wife instantly knew it was me somehow. I had no clue how she knew. And she goes, "It's Joey," and just yells it out. And then, Sean asks, "Why the hell do you think it's Joey?" And he goes, he has this tell every once in a while that he'll start bobbing. He'll start doing this and like pointing his finger. But I didn't point my finger that time. So I was sitting down and I was probably doing that. And she knew, and she did this reenactment like, "All right, guys, I'm not a spy. No one can tell I'm a spy. You're good, Joey." And it was, everyone dying laughing. And ever since then, yeah, just randomly I'll see people kind of looking at me and just going, all right, you're a spy. Like just, yeah. So Sean loved that moment. And yeah, that's a good one. So that is my tell, kind of rock back and forth a little bit. And yeah,
Nice.
so that was the tell. And then let's see, number 3 was the biggest comeback. It's a great question because it was with Sean Rickard. It was, he was sandbagging. He played 4-0 at a Southwest Regionals. He played 4-0 singles and won it, played 4-0 mixed and won it, and then played 5-0 doubles with me. That was our first tournament that we kind of played together. I just moved to Tucson a couple months prior, and he was one of the better players, younger players out there. And great story was, I went out, finally met him, played some pickleball with him, and rather than getting discouraged or getting upset, he came up to me right after and asked, hey, can you show me how to play pickleball? And yeah, ever since then we started drilling a bunch, stuff like that, and he picked it up really, really quick. So I told him, let's play this tournament together. So we played Southwest Regionals. It was our first one, or my first Southwest Regionals, and we're down. We go through the whole bracket into the winners bracket finals, doing great. We get destroyed in the winners bracket finals, the first 2 out of 3. And then we go down 14-2 in the final game to 15. And then Sean, I don't know what he does, but he just locks it up, and we ended up coming back and winning 16-14 and winning the gold medal there. So that was my biggest comeback, and a pretty big moment there for us, in a gold medal match, being able to come back in that final game to 15 from 14-2 down. And we had a little thanks to Yoda. He was our line judge in the back corner, and there was a ball that they drove, and it hit the net, went between us, and as I look back, I see it landing. I don't see it, so I was getting ready to just call it in. I even put my head down, I'm pretty sure, and Sean puts his hands on his head or something, and then all of a sudden we just hear an out call from the line judge, and we were just like, holy crap, like we have a shot. And yeah, we made our run.
Very nice. That's awesome. It's funny you mentioned Yoda. I've actually got a little baby Yoda back there. I don't know if anybody tuning in on YouTube can see it. And I've got this book, Winning Pickleball, that was written by Yoda, Mark Friedenberg. So that was not planned at all. I swear to God, that was not planned. There's Yoda references all around my basement. But yeah, that was great. Good stuff. This next question is from another great friend of ours, and that is the very talented Michelle Esquivel.
Hey Joey, how's it going? I know you love going to karaoke bars because we've gone to several. I just wanted to know, what's your favorite karaoke song to sing, and if you could give us a little taste of what that sounds like. Hope you're doing good.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a great one right there.
Jeez. Yeah, we've definitely done our karaoke. We went to one in Hawaii where we were all staying together, and then TOC. That's kind of a tradition. There's only one bar in town in Brigham, and happens to be a little karaoke bar. So we go there quite a bit during that tournament. At least every year we go once. Yeah, so we do enjoy. My wife and I do enjoy going to karaoke quite a bit. It's a lot of fun. Favorite song to sing? Jeez. I would say Frank Sinatra, "My Way."
Very
nice.
My favorite. Very nice.
And I don't know. Yeah, probably not. It's a different thing at a karaoke bar to go and do that. So if you guys, any of the viewers ever want to see me sing that, they can take me to a karaoke bar, and I'd be more than happy to.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. If you're anything like me, you probably need to down a couple more of those drinks before that would happen also.
Exactly.
So Eddie actually witnessed the last time I did karaoke, and that was at my bachelor party. Do you remember that, Eddie?
Oh, yeah. Well, the funny part was karaoke wasn't even happening. there was a guy paid to sing at the bar on Fort Myers Beach, and Webby just goes up to him and is like, "Hey, I want to sing," and he let him sing at a bar. He did karaoke, and karaoke wasn't even happening.
Yep, true story.
That's awesome.
That is a true story.
What song did you sing?
I sang "It's Not Unusual" by Tom Jones. That was always my karaoke go-to. Yep. And and the crazy thing is, I'm not even 40 years old yet, and that's still my go-to song. I feel like that's usually good with the elderly, but whatever. I blame
that's a great pick either way.
Oh yeah. I blame Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for that. Like that song was always one of my favorites because of Carlton on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh man. Anyways, so let's move right along. This next question comes from somebody who actually hijacked our show during last year's Beer City Open. Here's a question from Rob Cassidy.
Hey, Eddie and Webby. Hey, Joey Farias. Rob Cassidy here, first-time caller, long-time fan. Joey, my pro-to-pro question for you is, you are very well known in this game for playing with a good composure. What are some tips that you might have for other players aspiring to be stoic and having that good composure on the court like you?
Nice, great question.
I would say my composure, a lot of it comes from tennis. Just like years and years of playing tennis, and then especially towards the end trying to play at such a high level, where when I was first starting pickleball, I saw it as, this fun activity that I was doing and just happened to be pretty good at. So literally almost every moment I'm out there, I'm just having so much fun, whether I'm losing points or winning points. Obviously it's more fun winning more points than losing, but that is kind of one thing where I tried so hard in tennis to basically just control the things that I could control, which was obviously the way I acted, my composure, what shots I hit. If my opponent hit a good shot, I'm going to tell him good shot. I'm not going to get upset about it. That means that either I made a bad decision or they just hit a better shot than that I couldn't get back. I try not to let, small things get to me, like net courts or wind or stuff like that, that some of these other players or other people get to thinking about too much, which can affect even their overall game because of that. So I try to let those go.
All right. Very nice. So this next question is actually our final question of the Pros Asking Pros Questions segment, and it comes from somebody that you have had some success with on the pickleball court. Here's a question from Riley Newman.
Hey Joey, hope all is well with you. One of my favorite tournaments of 2019 was teaming up together for the Las Vegas Open, where we took gold. I'm sure a lot of people would love to know, how did you celebrate the big win? See you in Vail, Colorado for round 2.
Oh man. That tournament was a lot of fun. It was, just came out just playing lights out that whole day. It was funny because I had a little bit of a neck injury going in where I couldn't turn my head all the way towards the right. So I was a little concerned, worried. Simone came out with this CBD balm, I think Frontier Jackson, came and put it on my neck, and it was perfect. I was feeling much, much better. And then throughout the matches, she would ask me if I was feeling good and would come and put some more. And it ended up helping out quite a bit. Obviously, we ended up winning, not dropping a match, which was nice. And the celebration, let me think, we went out to dinner with a group of the pickleballers, and then I made some more money playing blackjack basically all night, I want to say. No, not all night, because I played the next day. I played blackjack until probably about 1 or 2 in the morning, and then went to bed, and then was having to play indoors mix the following day because of weather, which is a little bit of a bummer, but still such a fun and great tournament.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that question, Riley. And speaking of winning gold with Riley at the Las Vegas Open, we actually have a video clip from after the gold medal match ended that we'd like to play right now.
You guys have potato gardens. Tell us that now. That is our favorite food, so let me tell you why. So I think I probably forgot. I don't know when that was. Yeah, waffles aren't bad for me. Spicy beans are money, boy. Lower your volume for nefarious, swollen punks. You better bow down.
Oh, that was great.
So that's just a little taste of the bad Dink reading video series that we've been dishing out lately on the Eddie and Webby channel.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
so that happened. That just happened. But yeah, that's the end of the Pros Asking Pros questions segment.
Man, a lot of great questions coming in. I hope you guys out there enjoy that. I know that Webby and I certainly enjoy, and we really appreciate all the pros that are taking the time out of their day to be able to submit questions. One of the things I love about this segment is that it really shows just how it's a tight-knit community amongst all the pro players. I mean, you can obviously tell by the questions there's a lot of inside jokes and a lot of stories, and we really appreciate it. So I hope you guys out there like that. So, Joey, I hope you had fun, man. I know that this was definitely a great time for us to be able to talk a little bit more about life on the road, what's going to be coming up in the future for you. But obviously, I want to give you an opportunity to be able to kind of tell everybody where they can follow you on this journey. And also, I know that, it's obvious that you have a great relationship with Gearbox as well. So do you want to be able to talk about that?
Yeah. No, thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun. Again, always fun to be on the show. So you guys can follow me Facebook and Instagram. I think it's Joey Farias Pickleball for both of them. Be able to see where I'm at, where I'm teaching. Hopefully soon I'll be able to announce what I'm actually going to be doing in Florida. And then, with Gearbox, I've been super fortunate to find them. Started with them late 2017, early 2018 was when I signed December of 2017. And, man, it's been just such a great team to work with. They've helped my game and just, the growth so much, from, letting me travel with this fifth wheel and getting me the fifth wheel and truck and, giving me these ideas of doing stuff like that to hit the road and help promote, and seeing that the owner's out there doing it himself at times where he's out driving around promoting and even just following me. For some of our trips, which is some of the funner trips where we kind of follow each other, caravan throughout the U.S. and stop at different places, kind of check out new things and see a bunch of new people, which is always nice. So yeah, that's for sure my favorite part of being with that team, was seeing all these new people, and then at these bigger tournaments, having groups of people coming up to me, remembering that I went out to their courts in, this small city in Iowa and this small city in here, and getting messages randomly from people asking how I'm doing, stuff like that, because I've been able to just meet such great people in this pickleball community.
That's great. Well, we'll throw links down below to your social media links. Again, Joey, this was a blast. I look forward to you being down here in Florida. Hopefully, it means I get a chance to see you more. As of right now, what is the first tournament that you're going to be playing in, kind of getting back introduced into pickleball?
Looking at a couple right now. It's either going to be, I want to say it's Rocky Mountain Open is one of them. There's a couple because of this new thing in Florida. I've got to kind of check a couple things, make sure I can do that. But I think that was our first on the schedule was that one. If not that one, I think then Indianapolis possibly. One of those two would be the first tournament that I'd be back at.
Awesome, man. Well, I look forward to seeing you back out on the courts. I'm looking forward to a lot of these pro tournaments, getting back up and running. Thank you again, Joey. Really appreciate it. And hope you have a great rest of the night, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Our pleasure, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Oh, man. Another super, super fun night. Such a great guy.
Yeah, Joey's always been one of my favorites, man. Just a really cool guy. Super nice. Obviously, he's incredible out on the pickleball court. I love that question about composure, though, because it's true. I mean, obviously, he's a pretty chill guy in real life, and you can see that kind of carries over onto the court as well. He's always very composed. He doesn't let those kind of, like wind and net cord shots and stuff like that bother him, like he said. And it's great, man. I think he's great for the sport, and what he's doing to promote it is incredible as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the first time I ever met him in person was last year at the Beer City Open, and such a down-to-earth, super nice, very approachable guy. And it was very cool to see him play in person. And yeah, so he's one of those people like it's so great for the sport of pickleball. Just such a great guy.
Do you remember first Beer City Open you and I were at? We went to Belknap Park for the first time, and we were walking around. The first pro match that we ever actually watched for a few minutes was Joey and Catherine playing together. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Oh, nice. I don't specifically remember. And it's one of those things like that first Beer City Open, like I kick myself so hard because we were in the presence of so much greatness and we didn't even friggin' realize it. Like it kills me. Like when I look at pictures and look at videos, I was like, holy crap, look in the background. It's like the greatest pickleball players of all time.
Yep.
And we're just roaming around like, oh, here's a pickleball tournament. Let's see what this is all about.
Yeah, top players in the world, all right there. And then we go to Perrin for the pre-party, and they're all sitting at a table right by us, and we have no idea.
Right. Yeah, we got there early, so we got like one of the tables right, like when you first enter the area where the party was at. And then when we go back and look at videos and pictures, like the best of the best pickleball players are all around us. And all we were doing is just like looking at the camera. Hey, we're here at Perrin drinking beer. We're going to play pickleball tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. That was a blast though, man.
It was so much fun. But yeah, even the fact that we didn't know who the pros were, like that night or that weekend, that tournament changed our lives. Like even though we didn't know who the top pros were, like we got sucked into it because like the people were just so nice. The tournament was so well ran, and just the whole experience, it was amazing. And like that's what made us want to get better at playing pickleball, and that's what made us want to get into this more than ever. And it's just that the first Beer City Open that we went to, which was the first Beer City Open ever, it was such an amazing experience. I'll never forget it.
That's right. Very, very sad it's not going to be happening this year. Totally understand, though, but
yeah,
it makes me sad. Here's my Beer City Open pint glass. It always makes me happy to take sips.
I always have
it.
mine.
You got yours there?
I always have mine nearby, right here. I have two. I have one that I drink from, and one that's just here on display in my basement that I can. And this year I'll be just like crying into it and filling it with tears.
Yeah, me too. We'll have to. That whole weekend, I'm just gonna sit in my room and cry and pout because no Beer City is going on. But that's okay. They're coming back next year. It's gonna be bigger, better, stronger.
That's
faster.
right.
Is that a song? I feel like that's a song.
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
And copyright strike right there.
Yep, just like that. Just ruined,
just like that.
Ruined everything. Ruined the whole episode by doing that.
Oh, that's funny. No, that was great, man. So one of the reasons I really wanted to have Joey back on again tonight too was because I'm fascinated by this whole life on the road thing. It's a movement that a lot of people are moving into with people being able to work remotely. I think that this is going to become more and more of a common trend, and especially in the pickleball world where you have the ability to play tournaments across the country with different groups or whatnot. I see a lot of value and a lot of appeal in that. So it was really cool to hear, Joey's perspective from him and Tony and the dogs and kind of traveling around. So that was great, man. It really, I feel like that was very informative. Different feel than our previous podcast, but I really liked that. I thought that was good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love the fact like he's been on the show before. He told us his backstory, so we didn't have to worry about that part. So we just kind of talked about that part of his life, and it's very fascinating to me. And like you said, especially in the world of pickleball, like living out of a camper and traveling the world or traveling the country and being able to go wherever you want and like just stay in whatever area you want and play pickleball and stuff. It almost sounds like the dream. I mean, that's like the perfect lifestyle for a pickleball player.
That's right, man. The pickleball nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm in. Where do I sign up? How do we make this happen, Webby? Let's do it.
Right? Yeah, seriously. I'm down.
We'll get a big Eddie and Webby logo on the side of the truck. We're going to make this happen.
Yes, the Eddie and Webby truck. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll stop. We'll do our tour. Still want to check out Chicken and Pickle. That'll be on there. Obviously, we got to go out west. I still want to play in Steve Peranto's backyard. I don't know about you, but I think I want to.
Oh, yeah. There. Yeah, he's been releasing videos like crazy lately during quarantine from his backyard. And yeah, that is definitely very high on my bucket list is to play in Steve Peranto's backyard. Like that has definitely got to happen. Hopefully it happens sooner than later. And I feel like we've got challenges all throughout the country too.
Yep.
We've got Barrett and Jana from Pickleball Kitchen. They're down in Texas. They want to play against us. They're pretty sure they can destroy us. We've got in Chicago Platform Files.
Mm-hmm.
They challenged us a long time ago.
Butts up pickleball for that one.
Yep, butts up pickleball. I'm actually okay with it now because like my skills have gotten a lot better from the time that they first challenged us. I think you and I have a chance to destroy Platform Files. They're actually kind of a group of chumps, and I think we can easily beat them. So I will absolutely be down for some butts up pickleball. Next time we're both in Chicago.
That's right. We go to Chicago all the time together, so it works out well.
Right. Yeah. When was the last time? Like 10, 11 years ago? Something like that?
Yeah. That's right. Well, another great episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I certainly did. That was great, Webby. Is there anything else we want to be able to talk about tonight here, or are we done? How does this work? I don't remember. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think after the guest leaves, we're pretty much done. So I think that's about it for tonight.
Man. Well, as I mentioned, guys, another great episode. Joey's always one of our favorite people to be able to have on. Hopefully, we'll be able to have him on again in the future. And on that note, Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.